In 1999, the Small Cable Business Association changed its name to the simpler American Cable Association, reflecting the values of its members to connect hometown America as the dawn of the internet age was upon our country and the importance of that connection took on even greater significance. In 1997, the association hired Matt Polka, a cable lawyer and small cable general counsel who lobbied in D.C. with us since 1993 to run the association.
Awareness, involvement, commitment, building relationships, telling our story, never backing down, never giving up, doing the right things for our members. These are the principles of our association from our earliest times. And 25 years later, these are the principles we emphasize as if every day was our first day to make our members' voices heard in Washington, D.C.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome President and CEO, American Cable Association, Matthew Polka.
Good morning, everybody. I want to thank Calix for showing a portion of our 25th anniversary. Yes, ACA is 25 years old today. I've been with the organization for 21 years, and that's why I wanted to show you some of my baby pictures. A lot has happened in 25 years, but thank you so much for the opportunity here to be here at Calix, to spend some time listening and learning yesterday. I learned so much. I have never been here before, but I had such a great day yesterday. It was so wonderful to walk the floor, to talk with you, to spend time together, and to really listen and learn. And one thing I learned yesterday, walking around, is that our broadband future is secure, and it's in your hands, and I thank you for that. Thank you for that very much. Now, my job here today is not to be technical, because I'm probably the least technical guy in the room. But my job here today is to tell you a little bit more about the American Cable Association, what we do, why we do it, and how we can better partner together as cable wired broadband providers, all trying to seek to deliver that broadband future. The fact of the matter is that we all face challenges, and many of the challenges that our members face at ACA are the same. We have about 750 members, and I'll show you a graph in a little bit, that make up cable, telco, municipal members, but we're all striving to do what you want us to do, what our customers want us to do to deliver that broadband experience. But we deal with many of the same challenges that make it hard for us to serve hard-to-reach communities. And let me tell you a little bit about some of those challenges. The first thing that we, as internet service providers, even though cable's in our name, we are broadband providers, make no mistake. The first thing that our members are doing each and every day is trying to deliver the bandwidth needs of today, making sure that our customers have the bandwidth that they need. And let me show you something to illustrate how we are being successful in that regard. This is a chart from Netflix showing their ISP service, their ISP reliability. And what's very interesting about this chart is that 4 of the 5 top operators in terms of Netflix download speed are smaller operators and members of the American Cable Association. This is an amazing fact. Now, it's really interesting when you go to that graph on the Netflix chart. You see how it says up there, hide small operators? It's almost like it's a secret that they don't want people to know that smaller operators are delivering better service to consumers than larger operators. That's us. That's what we're doing each and every day. So we have to meet that bandwidth requirement of today. The second challenge is ensuring in Washington, D.C. that there remains a light touch of regulation on smaller internet service providers. It is so important and it's so critical because what we want to do as a result of that light touch and what we are doing because of that light touch is this. We are delivering broadband in our hard-to-reach communities and we're making it happen. This is an example of one of our member companies, Armstrong Utilities, and how they are deploying broadband in our markets and in my market back home in Western Pennsylvania. I want to see more of this, but it needs a light touch of regulation where Washington understands that you're different and that because of that light touch of regulation, you can invest and deploy more. The third thing that we have to do, and the third challenge we face, is not just the light touch and meeting the bandwidth needs of today, but meeting the bandwidth needs of tomorrow. That's not easy because there are so many choices that are out there for you to determine and for you to decide. Last week, I was in Atlanta at the SCTE show. Some of you were there as well. Here's a picture of the show floor. It's an amazing opportunity that members had, just as we had out on the show floor here today, to show what you're doing and to find the ways to solve the broadband problems. You're finding those solutions, but you've got to dig and you've got to meet that bandwidth need for tomorrow. Last but not least, in terms of a challenge, it's something that we all face as broadband providers, particularly if we're providing video, is dealing with that legacy video problem of the cable bundle, retransmission consent, sports programming, cable bundled programming, etc. Well, let me show you something from one of our customers. This is a company called MCTV based in Massillon, Ohio. There are 40,000 subscribers. This is a company that is moving to broadband fiber directly to the home. They're not worried about finding ways to get there. They're going directly there. This is what they say. Internet subscribers are going up. Internet-only customers are going up. TV video subscribers are going down. They do not see a long-term business in video. In fact, as this graph over here behind me says, of every new subscriber, of 10 new subscribers that they bring on at MCTV, only 2 will take video, compared to how many subscribers that they're losing. This is a broadband world. We have to fight video issues, but we have to also remember that we have to keep our eye on the prize, and that's broadband. How do we leverage technology? How do we make sure that Washington understands what it is that we're doing and why it's important for Washington to recognize who we are as smaller operators? I'll say that I don't think we get the credit as ISPs, where Washington in the past has tried to regulate us rather than help to encourage us. So we have to show them that we're committed to our marketplaces. We have to deploy, deploy, deploy. And we have to invest and deploy. That's what's happened over the last year. We've seen, even Chairman Pai from the FCC said recently, over the last year, since his Restoring Internet Freedom Order was implemented in December of 2017, the investment has been remarkable in broadband deployment. We have to continue to do that. We have to reach the hardest to reach areas of our country, and we have to demonstrate that commitment, finding ways to finance these places, whether it's through state, federal programs, whether it's through private capital. We have to find unserved areas, and we have to extend our plan into them as we manage this regulatory environment and show why Washington should care. And last but not least, we can't assume that there's just one path to solve the problem. Whether it's wired, whether it's wireless, whether it's 5G, whether it's extensions, we have to solve the problem. Our customers want service. Washington, for once, is actually talking about delivering broadband in rural America, and we have to deliver on that promise. The big companies aren't coming to our markets. We're doing it. So we have to be the ones to go out, and we have to deploy in whatever form it takes, and we have to be willing to do that. I get asked quite a lot, how do cable companies, telephone companies, other providers, how do you mix? Do you collaborate? Do you get together? Are there opportunities? Are you always sort of at odds with each other? And the answer is we do work together. We do collaborate. We spend time each and every day. In fact, in our association, as you can see from this chart, in many cases and in our marketplaces, the quote-unquote cable company is the telephone company because this is a big country. And the places we serve are hard to reach. And sometimes it takes a telephone company or a municipal or a cable company to be able to provide the needed services. How else do we collaborate? I was so pleased to spend some time here on stage with Shirley Bloomfield from NTCA because we're friends. We work together. And in fact, recently our organization and a number of others recently sent a letter to the Hill, all of these organizations, seeking to limit the amount and the impact of regulation on your business. Third, our members come together to serve their communities in ways that are unique, where they are building statewide networks. This one in Iowa. They're coming together. They're collapsing head ends. They're taking the time to understand what they have to do together to meet the needs of their communities. And last but not least, we take our message to Washington. This is our commitment, where we go to Washington to talk about video issues, to talk about broadband issues, to talk about serving rural America. We also work very collaboratively with our partners in the vendor community. We do so much at our association where we work together with our vendor companies as they are working with you to help you, to train you better, to help increase your knowledge, to work with us at the American Cable Association by participating on webinars and coming to our events and speaking and things of that nature, where you can learn more from your partners, because as I said, there is no one solution. Every situation is unique. And we spend time to come together, and we spend time to connect. That's what is so important to us as we think about our organization, about our industry, working together collaboratively. There's a reason I have this hashtag up here. This hashtag is going to be our message to Washington when our members and our vendor partners come to Washington in March to continue to tell our story and to continue to tell Washington, you need to be focused on who we are, because we're going to solve your problem in rural America. We connect. Our members come together to connect with Washington, with their customers, with their businesses, with their communities, with Washington, D.C. We are the answer. We're the solution. I invite all of you to come join us. Help us to increase the size of that voice, because we have to be committed to make Washington listen. And I can tell you that the American Cable Association is committed to you and your future. Thank you so much for allowing me to be with you today. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Matt. So you mentioned the We Connect conference. Obviously,
Yes.
That's one way your members are involved in the partnership. Can maybe you describe a few more other ways?
You know, it is so interesting to me and really gratifying as I have the opportunity to go out and to speak to our members all across the country. And when I'm there, oftentimes I see partners from the vendor community that are working right there hand in hand with our members. And what's interesting is they are finding solutions. Our members, in many ways, find solutions that the larger companies can't, because we don't have the depth, we don't have the resources, we don't have the staff. We have to figure those situations out and find those solutions. And then when we do together, we share them. We share those with others. I mentioned MCTV before. They were one of the companies that really helped to develop technology for their company, which they then, with the vendors, with partners, help to share with others. So I love that aspect about our business, where we can take time, we can learn, we can come together, and then we can share for all.
Excellent. Sounds like it's definitely strength in numbers.
It sure is.
Excellent.
It sure is.
Thank you so
Thanks
much,
so much,
Matt.
My pleasure. Thanks, everybody.